All right, these are some of my favorite Marvel omnibuses. I was in a group and somebody actually said that they didn't like these omnibuses. This is the like sort of month and year series, I guess I should call it. And what they've done is gone through historic months in Marvel history and just printed all of the books Marvel came out with that month. So the first one was the Fantastic Four one, and that's the birth of the superhero age. And of course, that was the only superhero book that month at the time. It was all monster stories and sci-fi stories and westerns and romance stories because Marvel actually published a lot of girls' comic romance stories too. And then Spider-Man came along, and there were a few. I mean, so we already had Amazing Fantasy 15 going, but there was some Iron Man stuff in it and some Ant-Man stuff in it, and along with those westerns and others. And now we're up into July 1963, where Avengers and X-Men are born in the same month. So they introduced two superhero teams at the exact same time, Lee and Kirby. Oh my gosh, they put him through on too much stuff. And here's the internal. You get a little nice eye as you get to see this. And it has some cool contents through this book. So I love it. They do a good restoration job on everything here. Everything's really pretty. The colors are well done. And of course, here's all the credits and everything. You go through the contents, and it's got Fantastic Four Annual #1, Avengers #1, Journey into Mystery #1. Journey into Mystery 96. Which has some Thor, and it's also got some backing other stuff, stories. Tales to Astonish, 48. Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos, #3. That was a big popular one in the 60s, too. X-Men #1. Modeling with Millie, 25. Patsy Walker, 109. Patsy and Hetty, Annual #1. A lot of those were reprints of former stories, but not like those have much continuity going on to them anyway. Strange Tales, 113. Rawhide Kid, 36. Tales of Suspense, 46. Amazing Spider-Man #5. That's the Doctor Doom issue. Fantastic Four, #19, which is the going back in time to ancient Egypt issue. Patsy and Hetty, 92. Gun Kid, 66. Kathy, 25. Kid Colt Outlaw and Millie the Model, 117. Holy crap. A lot of books this time. So this took me a little longer to read than the prior ones, which is why I didn't get this done as a review in the first week like I have done before. Marvel originally, like when they in the first ones, had a limit to how many they could distribute, and they actually had upped that by this point, which is why there's more books, and that's why there's annual issues and things like that, as they're trying to make more money and squeeze that out of the market there. So this is a big fight with Namor at the beginning of this annual right here. Namor is terrorizing New York, of course, and Namor was an original Marvel Timely character before this, which is cool to see. And you then get into some other stuff. Actually, so I mean, the Marvel stuff's pretty. Here's a reprint sort of their origin, the Fantastic Four. Very long, these annual issues. And then we get into the Avengers, and of course, here they are. Hulk even joins the team to team up to fight against Loki. And so pretty fun stuff here through the Avengers #1. Very classic issue right here. Thor, Iron Man, and the Hulk. Now we get a Thor issue where he's fighting Merlin the Mad, like an actual like Merlin from the past. Oh my gosh, I don't know how Jack Kirby drew all these books at the same time. It's unbelievable. Now, what's cool about these, so there are, for the short stories, for the monster stories, Kirby's got 2 omnibuses full of them from Marvel, so those are already printed. Ditko already has his Masters of Suspense omnibuses, so those are printed too. But there's ones by other artists that did not get printed because they didn't actually do omnibuses of those full Silver Age comic books. They only did ones just by artist rather than, here's one of the Ditko ones here, by artist rather than by actually like printing all the stories in different issues. Sergeant Fury, this is the first Sergeant Fury story I've ever read, and it was pretty fun. It was a long full issue war story, enjoyable stuff, and a little different. I do have the Epic collection of this, and I have not gotten to it yet. I think it might be a little hard to read several issues in succession of those comparatively to the other comics. X-Men #1 is okay. And this iteration of the X-Men was really kind of boring compared to other things. It's got a very much like a Magneto fight, and then I'll get you next time, X-Men, like kind of vibe to it, which is a little hokey. This is the Modeling with Millie stuff, and it's done by Stan Goldberg. All these Millie stories are done by Stan Goldberg. Very Archie style stuff. These are three models who are kind of competing with each other, usually fighting over boys or modeling contracts, hairdos, and things like that. Mostly short stories in here. Another cool part of all this is the issues that were the non-superhero titles used to have these like 2-page short stories in there. And this volume actually tells you where they were originally published. So Marvel has been doing a bunch of different stuff. Love Tales number 66 from February 1956. They were pulp magazines and comics back then, and all sorts of stuff that really hasn't been reprinted before. So it'd be interesting to see more of those. I know that Fantagraphics is putting together a book of like some of the older timely stuff before all this came out. This is Patsy Walker. You can see that this is done by Al Hartley as an artist, and it's got a little bit more of a realistic drawing style than the Millie stuff, which is a lot more Archie style. But it still has the same kind of flavor of attitude as the Millie books do. There's also a book called Kathy, where it's actually just a normal teenage girl. I mean, there's a lot of these stories in here. And those are my favorite to read out of these because they just have not been reprinted anywhere else. This is Strange Tales, which they had a Human Torch and Thing in addition to the normal Fantastic Four. This has been reprinted in Human Torch and Thing complete collection before. And here's some of the Western stuff. The Western stuff's really awesome. Jack Keller on art, and you get some really good art in some of this stuff. It starts with Rawhide Kid. You got Kid Colt, and they're all kids, and they're all outlaws, but they're all good outlaws. We're trying to fight the real bad outlaws. So fun stuff. And here's one of the ones I mentioned before, Mr. Flubb's Flashlight, with art by Sol Brodsky. I have no idea who that is, and that's probably why he didn't get his own omnibus. But it was fun. I mean, getting to see those extra stories that have not really seen print before from this era is really the whole reason to get these books. It's nice because you get that mixture of the familiar in here also. Fantastic Four, like I mentioned, or the Spider-Man in there. So it's like, you get a little break from this stuff. This is one of the actual girl romance comics, not one of the Westerns. They actually go to a dude ranch and find this guy. Oh, that's so funny. Very not PC these days. And they meet this guy who's like a dude ranch horse handler. They love him, but then it turns out he's bald once he takes off his hat. And then they're like, never mind. Hilarious stuff. Then there's one in here where they she's really sad because her cousin ends up being fat and won't work to lose the weight. It's amazing. This stuff wouldn't fly in 2023, but I mean, are those really bad messages? I don't know. If you're bald, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. And that's it. So really fun stuff. I enjoy these. They're doing one more of these omnibuses that they've confirmed so far, and I love it. I would love to have one of every month through the 60s like this, and have that whole collection all the way up until Stan Lee kind of retires from his daily writing duties. That'd be a lot of fun. So Marvel, do more of this. Good stuff. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.